Oop. Big fish-ish. Yeah, we getting right to it. Not playing any games. The NAACP issues a travel advisory to Florida. What is going on? We just did a morning show about, whether or not racism is real, how it affects us, how it affects the Black community, how it affects America, how certain people are still able to overcome certain racial challenges and still win, and for whatever reason, why we're still at the bottom. This is why the Black community is at the bottom. This is why the Black community is at the bottom in America. And it's because of organizations like the NAACP. The NAACP just issued a travel advisory in Florida in response to Ron DeSantis's what was his bill? In response to the bill that Ron DeSantis just came out of, I think it's his DEI bill. First off, I'm not a fan of diversity, equity, and inclusion. I think diversity, equity, and inclusion is literally the opposite of what we need. We need to encourage competition and winning by any means. However, we feel that the right approach to combating quote unquote racism is to just use more racism or to just use prejudice. So we're mad at, let's say, white people. We're mad at white supremacy because, oh, you're only hiring white people. So the solution is, okay, now we're going to tell you you have to hire this type of people. You have to make sure that your company has at least this many types of people. Listen, if it's my company, nobody's telling me who I'm hiring. I put the bread up. I put the blood, sweat, and tears into this. I don't care. Nobody's telling me who I can hire and who I can't hire. Period. It's sucker-ish. And when I say it's some sucker-ish, it's because this just goes to show you the mindset of the Black community and the mindset of Black leaders. Black leaders don't think that Black people can have our own. Don't think that we can lead our own businesses. Because when you even appreciate the concept of DE&I, to where somebody can tell somebody else that you have to hire this type of person. And for some, you can't, if it's my company, you can't even tell me who's qualified or not. You think having a resume is going to show the qualifications? No, it's the interview process. Who fits within our system the best? And that may mean that, okay, this Black person, we want somebody Black in this particular role based on A, B, and C. Or we want somebody Asian in this particular role because A, B, and C. Or we want somebody with a European background. Bro, it doesn't matter whether you think it's right or wrong. Bro, it's my company. But the reason why we accept it is because we never see ourselves as owners. We only see ourselves as workers. So that's the reason why we get on board with a lot of this goofy stuff that is just sucker-ish. You telling somebody who they could hire. You telling somebody who's qualified. When you put up the bread, if you don't like working somewhere, or if you don't like a particular company, how about you start your own and start competing? That's what we need. And we were talking about it earlier. The Black community, we allow everybody to sell us everything. But let me go into a Jewish community, an Indian community, an Asian community, and try to put up certain stores, a grocery store, certain things that they need. And you think they're going to let me sell that type of stuff in their neighborhood? No, because they understand how important it is for the dollar to circulate within your community. That's why we have no power, because as soon as we get money, we spend it, which is why reparations, when we talk about that, if I was white people running this country, I would say, yo, give them as many reparations, give Black people reparations ASAP, because all it's going to do is make us rich. Because all that money is coming to us. Period. The only people that are mad about, the only white people that get upset with Black people getting reparations is because they don't benefit from it. But let you be a business owner. See, when you're owner of a business, like with Trump, people hate Trump. Trump's racist. Trump will step on his brother, perhaps even his mother, to make the best deal. No, he's not racist. Whether he's racist or not, I don't even care. I don't even know what that means. We have so many different definitions of racist. Racism is the most natural thing that anybody can do. It's a race. You're looking to give your team advantages. That's what everybody does. So I don't even want to get into that. But the NAACP has such a weak mentality. A weak mentality. You issue a travel advisory on Florida just because you don't like the politics of DeSantis, just because you don't like that he's not with all that DE&I stuff with college. Did you look at the rest of the bill? Did you look at how he wants to bring in more career day type of setups for middle school kids? How he wants to push more of the technical side of education? We've gotten away from the vocational schools. That's what's going to benefit black people. That's what's going to benefit black people. And excuse the noise, they're doing some construction. That's what's going to benefit black people. Let's teach kids how to be plumbers. Let's teach kids how to be mechanics. So that way they can start a business after that off of a skill. So they don't have to go to jobs and bringing up stuff like DE&I and all this other goofy stuff. DE&I, a lot of the people that are in those roles, they think they're doing something great. They think they're really fighting the good fight, but you're not. You're not. You're not. How about the biggest thing for all y'all DE&I people that are very successful in DE&I? You know, the number one thing you really want to do something for diversity, equity, and inclusion? That company that you work for, that clearly you feel they need to hire more diverse group. How about you create your own business and compete against them? And then you hire your people. You hire, and when I say your people, I'm not just talking about one group of people, whoever you want to be your people. We have gotten into such a victim mentality to where we feel that people just owe us something, to where we feel that somebody who put the bread up for their company, we can dictate who they want to hire. Find another job. Matter of fact, build a business. Okay, they don't want to hire. Look at the opportunity that comes with, if they don't want to hire this particular group of people that's qualified or overqualified, why doesn't that group of people get together, unite, and compete against that particular group? Look at what the Negro Leagues. The Negro Leagues was out competing the major leagues. The Negro Leagues got destroyed by black people being so obsessed with white people and getting validation from white people that it destroyed a booming black business, multiple black businesses. It destroyed economies. Don't believe me? You ever go to a Super Bowl? Ask some of the business owners how much money they make from that one game being in their city. The Negro Leagues was selling out back-to-back games. Satchel Paige and them, they had their own plane that they would fly on. The major leagues were struggling. Let's be clear, Jackie Robinson coming on board was not a moral thing. That was because their business was struggling. And what did we do? We went and saved their businesses and now and begging them to accept us. We got our own. But we have such a submissive mentality, such a subservient mentality to where we feel that their ice is colder than ours. Their water is wetter than ours. They should be trying to get to our league with the Negro Leagues. We were doing better. We were selling out the stadiums that they couldn't sell out. And I'm aware of this. Be clear, my uncle came after Jackie Robinson. My uncle, Larry Doby, was the second black baseball player, the first in the American League. I'm not even sure if it was 2 months after Jackie Robinson in the American League. Truth be told, that contributed to the destruction of the Negro Leagues. The NAACP, first and foremost, is not. We need to, saying the NAACP is a black organization is like saying BT is a black organization. We need to stop thinking that just because they have a black name, Black Lives Matter, NAA, National Association for National Advancement for Colored People, whatever. It's not, bro, just because I don't even care if the people are black. That doesn't mean that you're pushing and promoting what's best for black people. I go on and look at the board members, and I'm looking at the National Board of Directors, from the chair to the vice chair. You know, I see people. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Let me ask y'all a question. So, what Ron DeSantis is doing in Florida is more dangerous for black people than what's happening in Chicago? What Ron DeSantis is doing in Florida is more dangerous for black people than what's going on in Baltimore, DC, throughout Louisiana, LA, all of these inner cities that are ran by Democrats. You're telling me, let me be very clear, and I take offense to this because I live in Florida. I live between Florida and Jersey. I live right across from the George Washington Bridge. I feel perfectly safe in Florida, a lot more safe than I do than walking through the Bronx in some areas at night. Should we issue a travel advisory to these places? And I know actually they did it with Cali. They said, yo, stay out of here. And truth be told, the NAACP, what's so ironic and funny about this, y'all issuing an advisory in Florida, bro, Miami damn near told y'all ratchet niggas stay out of here. Let's go back to that. In Florida, with all the spring breaks, all the violence that was going on, all the ignorance, all the booger stuff, all the worst of the black culture is on full display in Miami on spring break. To where their leadership was saying, yo, stop coming here. Keep all that ratchet stuff out of here. And you know what? I did not want to be there. I don't want to be there on those type of weekends with all that just negative energy around. We need to be real with ourselves and be blaming other people for the position that we're in, blaming other people for our culture being so destructive. Why don't the NAACP speak up on some of this drill music, speak up on some of this celebrities and entertainment that's pushing negative stuff to our culture? It is embarrassing. Black people in America may be the most gullible, ignorant, naive, self-destructive people ever to walk this earth. Why are we going for this? Why are we allowing ourselves to be manipulated? The NAACP is simply a arm of the Democratic Party. Simply an arm of the Democratic Party advising people to stay out of Florida. You goofy. What about the black businesses that are in Florida? You want to advise people to stay out of Florida. What about the black businesses that are going to suffer from you telling people don't come to Florida? And it's so funny when you read the statements. Hold up. NAACP President Derek Johnson said that African American lives are not valued in Florida. I want to see where he's from. Are our lives valued in Chicago? In the Bronx? In New York? In all these inner cities that are ran by Democrats? Are our lives valued there? Because I'm confused. And this is which is why the organization has issued a travel advisory in response to the state's education, immigration, and LGBTQ policies. Yo, any organization that continues to lump black issues in with LGBTQ issues, you're doing us a disservice, and you are not a black organization. You are an LGBTQ organization in disguise as a black organization. You're pushing that agenda. You are not pushing an agenda that is conducive to black people climbing the economic ladder. You're not. He goes on to say, we didn't end here overnight. It was because of the election. Johnson said on CNN this morning. So we have to prepare for the next election so we can get rid of him once and for all. This othering that we have seen first by Trump, now by him, they're talking about DeSantis, is not only un-American, it's dangerous, and we have to right size this landscape. I don't even know what dude is talking about. I don't even know what dude's talking about. They're talking about, they're mad at DeSantis for saying that they don't want certain history. I can't even find in the bill. I looked up the bill. I can't find what they're talking about. What they're talking about. I can't find, and they didn't quote in the bill. What exactly are you talking about? And they're lumping all this LGBTQ stuff. I'm not with it. I'm not with all this LGBTQ stuff with this agenda that's been pushed to our kids, bro. Let the kids be kids. We are trying to indoctrinate our kids. We are men. The men in this country have zero backbone, and have allowed these feminist and LGBTQ agendas to impact our kids in ways that it's not appropriate to expose them to certain things at the particular age that they're looking to expose them to. Which is why you get Joe Biden giving a commencement speech to a group of black college graduates on their campus. And Howard, y'all are some nuts for even having him do the speech. Y'all are some clowns for even having him. Why not use that as an opportunity to promote, so I can see myself as a college graduate, see another successful black person that I can be inspired to be like, an example. But you allow Joe Biden to come and have his fake little town hall disguised as a commencement speech where he's talking about Charlottesville, January 6th, talking about how the Democrats, the Republicans are so bad because they're trying to take rights away from gender rights away from kids. Like, what are we doing? What is going on? We are allowing ourselves to get destroyed. We are allowing the wrong group of people to take over this country. And we are aligning ourselves as fanatics and fans of a particular groups and agendas when we need to be looking at ourselves as independent and making deals and looking at what's in the best interest of us rather than getting finessed by the fear mongering going on by these Democratic leaders. The NAACP, what have y'all done? What have y'all done? What do y'all do? Do y'all help the HBCUs? Do y'all help the inner cities? Do y'all deal with the violence? What do y'all do? Do y'all create a standard of excellence that black people can strive to live by? What do y'all do? It's all pointing the finger. All these black leaders do, like in these liberal groups, all they do is point the finger at everybody else rather than taking accountability. Our issue is not another group. Our issue is us. We can figure out our own problems. But because of these groups think so less of us, they convince you that you need their help, that what we're going up against, it's too big, it's too strong, we can't overcome it. No, you can't overcome it. Don't put that on me. It is ridiculous. The NAACP should be ashamed of themselves. NAACP, all these black leadership groups, a bunch of clowns. And I know some of the inner workings with the NAACP. How? Because my little bro, who's been under my wing, says the time he was probably 12 years old, his pops was the president of it. Yeah, that part. So I know a little bit of the inner workings. I know how these people move. I'm not saying it all with him. But I'm saying I know how the organization works. Bro, stop putting these people on a pedestal. These people need us. They are nothing without us supporting them based on the fears that they try to put out on us that we should, oh, you should be fearing this, you should be fearing that. We should have a health advisory with that, or a travel advisory with that. For what? Y'all doing it now? How about you do the travel advisory when people are in spring break getting shot while you're walking down the street, people are eating on the sidewalk and somebody's getting shot for no reason. And it's supposed to be spring break. Why don't we do it? Why don't we talk about that? Why don't we do an advisory? Why don't y'all go into some of these inner cities and do an advisory or do something to figure out the violence in these cities? Why, when we're destroying each other? Everything is pointing the finger outwards. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Listen, I'm not, like I told you, I'm not a Republican, but I'm damn sure not a Democrat. You know what's also funny? We're going to tell Florida how they should run their education system. Florida has ranked #1 in higher education for 7 years in a row. Florida has ranked #1 in higher education for 7 years in a row. Meanwhile, kids in Chicago and kids in Baltimore have entire school systems and districts which no kid can read at their appropriate grade level. Let me say that again. Florida has ranked #1 in higher education for 7 years in a row. And the NAACP is coming in and telling them how they should run stuff. Meanwhile, these Democratic ran cities, these predominantly black inner cities and neighborhoods, kids can't read. Entire school districts. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Imagine an entire school district. I'd be a failure if my home, if just the people in my home can't read at an appropriate grade level. And here y'all got entire districts, but then you want to focus on listen, travel advisory. How about a living advisory in these Democratic cities? We need to make a living advisory. You should not live here. Your kids won't be able to read. They're more likely to get in gangs, get shot, get killed, get locked up. They're more likely to destroy their lives by being in these Democratic ran cities. So maybe we should have a living advisory in a lot of those cities. Bro, black people, it's bad. It's bad. It's disgusting what's going on. It's so disappointing what we allow, what we accept as truth, and how we allow people to manipulate us by telling us what we should fear. And then you have these goofy people like, what's the queens, the cocktail queens, Vivica Fox and all them, talking about Florida's ghetto. I forget that Claudia, one of them goofy chicks said it. Florida's ghetto. Oh, Chicago not ghetto. Baltimore not ghetto. But Florida's ghetto. Okay. DeSantis is ghetto. Yo, this shit is embarrassing. It really feels like we are playing for the worst organization in a sports league, that all we do is point the finger. Oh, well, we lose because of this. We lose because of that. But then carry ourselves like we some winners. Make it make sense. It's terrible. Matter of fact, and let me text my parents who are coming from Florida right now. They said getting ready to take off in a few minutes. Safe flight. Florida, bro. This is so bad. Then you look back at 2020, what was going on with that? You know what's so funny? Everybody criticizes Florida, but nobody highlights the fact that they probably handled the 2020. I don't want to say it. We know they handled that better than any state. Now, to a majority of people, they may not see it that way. They may not see it that way because they don't care about the state's economy. They don't care about the businesses and how 2020 destroyed so many businesses. They don't care about that because they're just happy to get their little, oh, we got a stimulus. Oh, I get to stay home and not do work. I don't like working anyway. We have accepted a victim mentality for our people, and it's embarrassing. It's pitiful. It's disgusting because we're passing it down to our younger generations, and they didn't ask to be brought into this world, but we're bringing them in with irresponsible views, irresponsible trauma that's been passed down, and fear that's been passed down because we're not courageous enough and accountable enough to fix our problems for us. All we want to do is beg and blame. We want to beg the Democrats to help us, and then we want to blame the Republicans for why we're in the position that we're in. It's sucker-ish. It's corny. And then you got people on these news stations, influential people, whoever it may be, on these mainstream outlets or just entertainers in general who get finessed into pushing these goofy messages to where we've created a certain level of heroism. Is that the right word? We create heroes out of victims. Bro, my heroes aren't victims. My heroes are winners, warriors, courageous people that stand on principles, morals, and values. What's going on is terrible. It's terrible. And you know what? We have nobody to blame but ourselves, because truth be told, the majority of us, the overwhelming majority of us, would rather be a victim than to hold ourselves accountable to demanding more out of ourselves, demanding more out of our people, more out of our communities, our villages, our tribes, whatever it is you want to call it. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. The NAACP should be ashamed of themselves. Like, that's what you want to use your voice on? And let's be real, it's got nothing to do with black people. The NAACP just looking to get a big bag, so they lump the black people in there. But really, this is about LGBTQ rights. This is about their agenda. And the NAACP, just like Black Lives Matter, in order to get that big bag, that big Soros bag, or whoever else is donating, they have to be used. They are bought. They are bought and controlled. Whenever you rely on people to put up money for your organization, those people putting up money for your organization, trust and believe they want something in return. They now control your organization because you can't survive without them. That's what's going on. So, hey, we'll make sure that we put this message out. You know, look who they're aligned with. They're aligned with, what's the group? Equality, LGBTQ groups on this stuff. Since when what are the LGBTQ groups doing for black people? But all we want to do is align ourselves with other groups because we're too weak to do it ourselves. Because we think so little of ourselves. We have so many fears. We stand up here and act like we're courageous. We are suckers. We're scared. And that's why we're ruled by fear. That's why all these different organizations, they know that they can control us based on creating that monster underneath your bed, the big victim, the big villain. Because once you accept that, then it makes sense. You want to make sense of why you're not in the position that you want to be in. And I'm saying you because I don't subscribe to that shit. But I'll say we, because even though it's not me personally, it's we. We'd rather be victims and validate why we're not where we want to be in life, rather than taking ownership of our lives and us being the driver of our destiny, us controlling our destiny. You know what's so funny? I just got a thought that came to mind, sports related. We'll get mad. We used to get mad at LeBron James for sometimes making the right pass, but not taking the last shot. We used to get mad at him because it's like, nah, put it on yourself. Don't look for anybody else. We want to either win off of you or lose off of you. That's what Kobe would have done. That's what Mike would have done. But what are we doing in our lives? All we do is pass the ball. All we do is say, here, help us. Please make a basket for us. Oh, we don't even have to play. You go out there. Or we'll play, but we're really just trying to help y'all win. So do we need to win or lose based on, what will impact your team? Bro, and if y'all aren't following me, I don't know what to say. I know I'm moving. Maybe the sports analogy didn't catch y'all. It is what it is. This is disgusting what's going on. The NAACP should be disgusted in themselves. And the NAACP is further promoting and encouraging these weak victim agendas that are the exact reason why we are in the place that we're in right now. The exact reason why we are at the bottom of the bottom. The exact reason why we are at the bottom of the bottom. Let me be very clear. You see that? Who's at the bottom? It's because of the Democrats. Let me see. How about it's because we've accepted such a weak mentality and weak role that we put all of our eggs and love and want to be fanatics of the Democratic parties and these liberal groups and all of these agendas, whether it's BLM, whether it's the NAACP, whether it's the feminism, all these other groups that act like they really with us, but just use us in order to further their agendas. That's why. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Advisory to come on, man. What are we doing? Derek Johnson, CEO of the NAACP. What are we doing? Did I want to? Trying to see if I need to share anything else with y'all. Yo, listen to the goofy stuff. These Democrats, especially these black people they put in these positions, y'all always sound smart to dumb people. Will sound super smart to dumb people. Let me read this by the chair of the NAACP, Leon Russell. Once again, hate-inspired state leaders have chosen to put policies over people. Governor Ron DeSantis and the state of Florida have engaged in a blatant war against principles of diversity and inclusion and rejected our shared identities to appeal to a dangerous extremist minority. I must be in that dangerous extremist minority then. I must be in that because y'all, like I said, show me, I guess, where he's keeping certain books, I guess they said, or preventing African-American high honor stuff. Bro, teach that shit in your household. Teach it in your household. Teach it in your household. And truth be told, y'all want to be real? Is an African American studies course taught by the same people that y'all are complaining about that don't want to teach it. Or let's, I mean, black folk, black kids. If you want to learn about some African American history, let's tap in with Dr. Claude Anderson, Thomas Sowell, Dane Calloway. Let's tap in with some of those brothers. Tariq Nasheed. Let's tap in with some of those brothers. School. Let's learn how to make some money. Let's learn a trade. Let's learn skills and tools that we're going to be able to apply to be financially successful. And of course, still well-rounded, but financially successful. That's the race that we're in. Because like it or not, money controls a lot of this stuff, if not everything. You want something done, you got to put the bread up. You want to influence people, put the bread up. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm disgusted in the NAACP. The NAACP should be ashamed of themselves. I'm disgusted, but I'm not surprised. What has the NAACP done? Like, what do y'all do? What do y'all do? Somebody, Candace Owens, we need you to make a documentary on what exactly the NAACP does. What do they do? Like, seriously, what do they do? I know there's different local chapters. We had a local chapter in Montclair. What do y'all do? What do y'all do for real? What do y'all do? Do results not matter? Yeah, I'm going to let y'all go. Strength and honor, onward and upward. Get to the bag with integrity, of course. And I'll see y'all soon. Ooh.